We're gonna try to get to as many games as possible. You were on your flight from Vegas. I'm so appreciative that you're on the show. I can't imagine what time you got back to Charlotte. But you called the game. This Panthers squad put up 36 points on the road against the Raiders. It was Andy Dalton under center. What was Andy Dalton doing that worked for this team yesterday?
Well, I think he spread the ball out. Everybody got involved. Obviously, this clip right here, Chuba played fantastic. He's a guy that's come a long way for us and been great. But he spread the ball out. Tommy Tremble had a big catch on the first drive. Deontay Johnson was phenomenal. They played a lot of too high man on third down. And it was funny to watch Andy. It's like he dropped back and said, hey, Deontay, go win. I'm just going to throw you the ball. And then Deontay played really well. But the ball got spread around. Leggett had a big catch. Mingo had a couple big plays. The receivers blocked on the perimeter, but what Andy did a really good job is he just played within the system. He put the ball where it needed to be. And I'll tell you what, Dave Canales, I thought, did a fantastic job of just dialing it up. You could tell watching that game, there's certain sets that he likes, and he's got 4 or 5 plays off those sets. Is it a split? Are they going to line up in split safety? If it's split safety, we've got an answer. If they sink down and play single high against the same formation, we've got an answer for that. And I was kind of talking to the guys after the game, like, what were we doing in this formation? He said, hey, this is the read for me, and it's pretty simple. This is Andy talking. It's pretty easy for me. If it's single high, I do this. If it's too high, I do that. And it's just football at some point gets easy when, hey, we trust what our coaches have dialed up and we trust our players, and now let's go let our guys go have fun. And we didn't make it too complicated, and there was a concerted effort by Dave Canales to get everybody involved in the game. Thielen had a package. They got Mingo on some stuff, on some screens. They got Leggett on a really easy OTB, over the ball spacing concept, and let him go do his thing with the ball in his hand. So I thought Andy did a really good job of making some difficult throws. He sat in the pocket really well, and he just took what the defense gave him. And that's just Andy, what he's been able to do his whole career. He said, it's not about me. It's about the guys in this team. I'm just going to get it out and get it to those guys.
Dave Canales was a piñata yesterday on these pregame shows. ESPN went after him. You don't hire a quarterback coach. You hire a defensive guy. I know that you've heard it all. You've been adamant. You've been adamant about when I was with you in Carolina, we went to visit camp. Before that, back to last year with the hiring. You're a Dave Canales believer, it sounds like. Are you, and why are those, you're even saying in this game, the coaching, trust the coaching. Can you just talk to me about that? Because what you're saying is different to what a lot of people are saying, Luke.
Well, I think it goes back to kind of when we first hired him. I remember I was at the Super Bowl last year, and Rashid, running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, #1. What is his name, Kay? I'm blanking right now.
Sorry, sorry. What did you say?
Running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, #1, who's a rookie last year.
Oh, Rachaad White.
Rachaad White, yeah. Yes. I saw him, and I'm like, man, what's the deal with Dave Canales? And he's like, hey, I'm really bummed that he's gone. He's a great coach. He's a great person. He forms great relationships. So going in before I met Dave Canales, you hear something great from a running back and guys on that team that loved him. And when they say, hey, we're bummed he's gone, all right, initial positive. And then you meet him. He's positive. He's a good dude. You can tell he cares about the guys. So, boom, check that box off. After the first 2 weeks, we've struggled. I mean, it's clear as day. And all he talked about was, we believe in our guys. We believe in our system. We believe that it's about the 53 guys in the locker room, and just be patient, and we're going to figure it out. And then he comes back this week. He makes a very difficult call to play Andy. And then we go into that game, and like you said, everyone was hammering him. And then all he does for this game is just go out, and we hung over 30 on the Raiders that just beat a really good Baltimore Ravens team. And we didn't just beat them. We scored on 7 out of 11 of our drives, and it looked easy, and play calling, and we had answers, and they had a lot of guys mugged up on the line of scrimmage, and we had answers to it. You'd see Andy behind the line of scrimmage, check protection, check the routes outside on the perimeter, and then we had answers. And then, like I said, there was a couple formations that you could tell that we schemed up during the week, and we ran them, and we had multiple plays off of them. And it's fun to watch those games because you can tell a lot of work went in during the week to get us ready to go. And then the game comes around, Andy executes the game plan. And the best thing that we did yesterday is we kept our foot on the gas. We were up big at the end of the game, and our game plan didn't change. We were running the ball. We were throwing play action. The ball was going down the field. We were intermediate. We were getting guys involved. It was a fun game to watch. And I'll leave it at the last thing about that game is Dave Canales asked these receivers to do a lot. He asks them to block on the perimeter. He asks them to run big clear out routes. Like Thielen ran a big clear out, and Deontay Johnson ran a big dagger in behind him on a big third down. And the only way that route opens up is if Thielen puts his head down and clears out of safety. And then a couple plays later, they throw the touchdown to Adam Thielen. So that's what I like about Dave Canales. He's like, I see you guys working really hard on the perimeter, blocking, running routes where there's zero chance you're going to get the ball. But guess what? If you do that, I'm going to get you the ball.
Yeah.
And I just feel like as a player, that's so awesome knowing your coach has your back.
Really well said. Everyone seemed to step up. That's what everyone like brought their A game. So if we were in a math class and we were doing fractions, I'd try to find the least common denominator here. And so now I have to ask you, based on what you said, what does this say? What does yesterday say about Bryce Young?
I think you look at the start to Bryce's career, right? He's had 3 head coaches. He's had 3 different people calling plays. He's had assortment of wide receivers. He's had, we struggled up front last year. And then now this year, the season didn't start off great, obviously. I think maybe this could be really good for him. I think Bryce is still super talented. I like him as a guy. He was very active on the sidelines with the guys. He didn't shut down. He didn't go in a hole. And, Andy got the benefit of watching for the first 2 weeks, and he's a veteran quarterback. He's been around, but I'm not ready to write Bryce off. I think you learn a lot about guys when adversity hits, and his mindset this week, just talking to guys over there, how he was how he handled the game. Andy talked a lot about, hey, I'm going to come to the sideline and talk to Bryce after series to see what he thinks. So, it's difficult for Bryce. He was a number 1 overall pick. He struggled at the start of his career. He's had a lot of noise around him, from coaches to play callers to guys around him on the offensive side of the ball. So maybe this will be an opportunity for him to just sit back and relax and take a breath and just hang for a second.
So it's about confidence, not skill level?
I think he's still got it. He can throw it. He's smart. He processes. You go back and watch him at Alabama. He can do everything. It's we'll just take a second. Let's just sit back. Let's just relax. Let's go let Andy sling it around a little bit and see where it puts us.
From a football perspective, what's the one thing, and it's not to compare them, who's better, whatever. What did Andy do yesterday that is unique, that is different than what we've seen from Bryce? Like, what is it that Andy's doing that you think Bryce is really trying to learn how to do?
Well, the ball came out. The ball came out quickly, and Andy was, the first reason out there, check it down. I thought he did a really good job at the line of scrimmage, and he put some good touch on the ball, something that Bryce has. But I think the biggest thing that Andy did yesterday is he played within the system. He trusted his guys, and he got the ball out.
Really well said. Panthers, are you get to be home next week, next Sunday? You got the Bengals.
Next week. Bengals for Andy Dalton, big one.
Oh, that's a fun one.